Marriage is the new boyfriend girlfriend. So, what do I mean by that? People are actually treating marriage like people used to treat boyfriend girlfriend. They're oftentimes relationships are almost like a thing of the past. If you notice, a lot of people are kind of more in these sort of casual dating situations and they never actually declare it that it's boyfriend girlfriend. Then, for certain reasons or another, they might jump into marriage either too soon or they're even considering some of these marriages starter marriages, if you've heard that, where a lot of times people get married in their 20s and oftentimes don't even have kids. But let's say they do have kids. Then the situation gets a lot more complex, obviously, because the divorce courts are not in our favor. And as guys, and oftentimes the guy will end up having to pay child support, alimony, and yeah, and then you're going to be in this weird custody battle. I've even, heard of guys having to fight for 8 to 10 years over these custody battles to keep going back to court to reestablish the situation and whether it be payments or visitation rights and these kind of things. So, for one, um, a lot of women, and why is this? Well, for one, women have watched too many Disney movies. For one, it's been sold to them as a product that you're going to have this ceremony, you're going to get married, this is going to be great, all these kind of things. And ultimately, it's not so great. They have to put up with this guy, then they have their girlfriends talking in their ear, he's not that good for you, and you could do better, and, all these kind of things, and they're never content. Nothing's ever good enough for a lot of these girls. If you notice that even the single ones, okay, let's say you see a 33, 34, 35, 36, whatever, year old woman who's single, never been married. And then you're like, well, she's pretty attractive. Like, she has a decent job, all these kind of things. Like, why didn't she ever get picked up? And then you're like, it's like, well, maybe it's circumstantial. Maybe it's just kind of the way things are now. But oftentimes, what you find out is no guy is ever good enough. And then I know some people are going to say, well, Brian, maybe it's just because you weren't good enough and you got rejected and you didn't like that and all that kind of stuff. No, it's not just me. It's like the last 20 guys, the last 50 guys. I've seen chicks that are, fairly decent looking that fit this category that have rejected, several, high value men that they were college educated, ambitious, had some money, um, were athletic, six packs, the whole thing. And then these chicks have just completely just dismissed them and act like they were too good for them. And then, there's a certain thing where it's like, well, okay, each individual, but it's not just me, it's these other guys and it's you too. You're not good enough. So a lot of these women, again, there's more red flags than a Chinese communist parade. And but as far as going back to the marriages and that people are treating it like it's the boyfriend girlfriend of today, I think it's like the pageantry of it. They want to have this big wedding. Oh, I got married. They want to post it on Facebook. Um, it's kind of like a lot of people would post on Facebook or Instagram. Oh, I bought this new house and all this kind of stuff. Now it might be completely unequitable, but they're going to be making payments for the next 30 years, kind of thing. But they want to kind of brag about it. Everybody say, "Oh, good job," or "Congratulations," and they're going to say the same thing about the marriages. They posted, "Oh, I got married. Here's the pictures from the wedding," and everybody's congratulations. And women just love that. But as guys, see, I would never have a big wedding, and here's why. I'd have a very, very small ceremony, and the only reason I would be getting married is because I'd been with this woman for at least a couple years and vetted her, gold digger tested her over and over and over again, and that I would be having children with her. That's the only reason I would get married. There's no incentive for men to get married unless they're going to get married to this woman, because it's, say, oh, commitment or this or that. Nah, nah. you know, um, really when it boils down to it, you're going to have to be around someone for a couple years to really kind of tell how they're going to act over the long haul. And really when it boils down to it, there's no advantage to get married unless you're going to have kids with her. So I think a lot of, and it depends on what state, but let's say a girl goes to college and then she sees her other friends starting to get married out of college and stuff like that. By the time she's 25, she starts freaking out. She wants to get married. She wants to get married. And there's a little bit of truth to that. Peak fertilities for a woman is around 28. So if she does have intentions that she's going to get married, she doesn't want to, she don't want to be musical chairs and feel left out. And so she wants to get married by 25 because she thinks that all the good guys are going to get soaked up. This is also a common myth and a mistake that a lot of these women are making. They're actually oftentimes getting with guys around their same age or maybe within a year or two. That is often a mistake because, for one, their criteria of a good guy is often skewed to where it's like, okay, you want him to have a six-pack, have a career, have a house, all this kind of stuff. Well, a lot of places in the country, if this guy's 25, 26, he's probably not going to have that. He may or may not. So they don't want to be left out. They get married. Then oftentimes, they're getting divorced. I've seen it happen over and over again. These marriages last in a year or two, and then they're in their second marriage. Well, then the divorce rates in their second marriage statistically are even worse. So again, big population centers, Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, all these things, it's going to be higher than 60% for divorces. And guess what? 80% of the time, guess who initiates the divorce? The woman. That's right, guys. So be vigilant. Women are just treating these like the new boyfriend, girlfriend. They're just getting rid of them because they know they can win in court and divorce rape you. So anyway, guys, follow the channel if you want more information like this. I hate to have to drop these truth pills, but I've been around the game for a while. See you guys later.